Ta-da! Welcome to the Ignite Your Purpose vlog, podcast, whatever you want to call it. It is what it is. It's his nibs over there, Maximus. I'm over here, JB. I'm Healthy Funky Free. He's Mossamo.com. What are we going to talk about today? Have we not run out of subjects yet?
Never.
Fuck no. I don't swear often. Rarely swear, but we've got so many subjects. We're not gonna put ourselves in this little box where we become the meditation guys or the banana yoga guys. Because once you're in that box, it's hard to get out. So we're just gonna cover anything and everything as long as we've got something useful and valuable to say and to share with you. And come the day we aren't sharing and caring, please tell us, and we'll change it, or we'll just go and do something else. Go talk to somebody else about something. So should I? Max is that way. You're on first, big boy. So you better get your big boy brain in gear.
Let's get this. I'm being entertained by you right now.
Sorry.
I said I'm just so entertained by you right now.
Do you know what? I think we're nearly 20 episodes in. I think we have an episode.
Oh, yeah.
Guns in the never roll. I think we're about to get our first 1,000 views on one of our episodes. So that is beyond blown away. We were saying that, you know what, for the first year, maybe if 100 people watch an episode, or 150 maybe. Outside stretch, 200, 1,000 people almost have watched an episode, and not just the one. There are, we're going to head that way with every episode. So today we're going to talk about the idea that one thing can fix everything, the reductionist attitude that we outsource our health to doctor, or it's all about vitamin C, or it's all about meditation. And so often we look at all of these facets and elements of our health individually, whereas looking at them as a whole, if we looked at our hydration and our fitness and our nutrition and our stress and other things as a whole, 1% in each of these areas will make a progression. And it's through your own education, taking action, not sitting on your hands waiting for somebody else who you perceive to be an expert because they've written a free ebook because they want your money, or not a free ebook. So that's what we're going to talk about. Any questions? Subscribe. That's
Mr. Healthy Funky Free.
That's my Gary fucking B impression. Gary swears. Anyway, speak to him. Bye.
Mr. John, Mr. Healthy Funky Free, you forgot to tell them who we are. What we do. It is Ignite Your Purpose, baby. Another beautiful episode. Mossamo, aka Max from Mossamo.com. And together we are Ignite Your Purpose. And our whole sole goal is to educate, engage, and encourage you and us, because every day is a learning day, to be better and to raise that bar higher. So that's what it is. That's what we do. It's how we do. Today we're talking about minimalism or reductionism, and I'm going to flip it, all talking about the same thing, but I'm going to go based on me. Always hold my own feet to the fire, because I don't want to sit up here on a soapbox and preach. I always hold my own feet to the fire to show you where I was, how my thinking was, and where it's at now, due to all the basically the decade-long journey I've been on through Soto Zen meditation and digging deep into studying my own mind. It all comes down to a form of tribalism. And that word may or may not make sense to you, but just let me flow with this, because I can talk, so I'm gonna. Tribalism, going way back into the day. Just getting shit on by Mr. J to the B. I think he's had his chaga today, man, because he's on fire. Tribalism. Back in the day, you picked a tribe. You go back to the caveman days, go back to the Native American days, go to the indigenous days of when it was them running the world, which was the good old days. You had your tribe that you were part of. So you had a belief system. You had your people. And anybody who wasn't part of that tribe, maybe not in a good or bad way, but you didn't really associate with them, or maybe you broke bread with them once in a while, but it was you and your circle. Now we could take that to this day to our being our own box. So in this day and age, my version of tribalism was this. I remember thinking eating healthy when I was 21 was the answer. So I ate at that point what I thought eating healthy was, and I just started feeling worse. Then I thought running was the answer 3 months later, and it would save all my problems. And so I started running, but I still ate the same, and it didn't. Then I was like, well, this ain't working, so screw that. I go buy this book by Bob, the book writer, and I thought that was the next answer, right? So I was just doing one thing after another. At least I was on a journey failing forward every day, which is great. But I continue to put myself into a box. And I still see it every day when I hang out with people, let's say, who are vegetarians, and they're in that vegetarian box, and they're like, fuck meat eaters, and I don't want to say that everybody's against everybody, because that is not the truth, but they don't vibe with the meat eaters, and the meat eaters don't vibe with the vegans.
I was wondering where you were going with this, but love it. Yeah.
Okay. And then the CrossFitters, people hate on CrossFit because it's too many injuries, and the CrossFit guys go, no. So we're all putting ourselves into these boxes when the
paleo and the keto and
yes, there's an ism for everything, and I remember, when I was coming up in my day and age, making it in my own way when I was 16, I was, hey, I'm Italian, I'm a Guido. So it was all about Italian, being Italian. I had flags everywhere, and I thought they were my people. That's the answer. So this is a closed mindset. This is a closing myself off from opportunity, ourselves off from opportunity. And what I'm saying is we just have to be a little more open. Hey, if you are a meat eater, or hey, you are a CrossFitter, or hey, you are a vegan, great. But there may be some room to wiggle there. Do you know what I'm saying? And you can still break bread with everybody and take points and learn from this book and that book, and just be a little more open than being so close-minded per month and being, that didn't work, screw them, I'm on to the next. That energy's all out, John. Now take it and roll with it.
Did you prepare today?
Oh.
I don't believe. Did you just come up with that on the spot right now?
That's the universe flowing through me, baby.
That was pretty good. I'm not sure I can follow up on that, actually.
Oh, yeah, right. I know you've been preparing. You had your chaga, you're ready to roll.
I said all my stuff at the beginning, so I'm out of here. Over to you.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Bye. It's more the same, really, of what he just said over there.
I don't think so. You had some strict points. Get to them. They were good.
Oh, no, I can't remember there. It's all about having a short haircut. Short haircut, you go faster when you.
This is true. That's I'm a good swimmer.
What was I going to say? Yeah. So ultimately, I use words when I'm trying to fill. It's about having more of a holistic view on the world, not a reductionist world. The reductionist view is this will fix it. If I do this, that'll fix it. I need to get my protein. So it's protein. I don't know anybody that measures the protein or knows how much protein is in the protein. But what about the carbs, and what about the vitamins, and what about and all the other stuff? It's not about that one thing. Yeah, I've been there. I was the CrossFit guy. CrossFit's the best thing in the world. I was CrossFit, and I've been the vegetarian and the vegan guy, and the whole food plant-based guy, because I went through the evolution. Same. And elements of those worked for me, so that was it. That was it. But what I've got to remember is there are people out there who they're just like me, and so if you just continue to say you've got to do this, you've got to do this, you've got to do this, they're going to say you've got to do this.
Yeah.
And you'll just close their mind to it. So it's having a holistic view. It's thinking, well, some exercise is good, some nutrition is good, some hydration is good, some meditation is good, some sleep is good, being part of a community is good, helping others is good. And all of these elements will make you that little bit better step by step, rather than, like say Max says, boxing yourself off and just being closed to the idea that you could pick up a book and there might be the fucking golden nugget of all golden nuggets that will change your life. So Max, say something else.
I want to just go off again, hold my own feet to the fire. I think maybe a year or two ago, John came to this beautiful country of ours, Canada, and we were vibing, and we were big in.
That's Canmore in Canada.
Truth.
Paradise.
Beautiful spot.
Paradise.
Energy vortex. It's amazing. And we were on this massive. I'm talking me personally, nobody else. I was on a massive kick about veganism and vegetarian and screw meat and screw dairy, and we were watching all these movies. And even me, that was about 6-7 years into my Soto Zen and my own mind studies. I was boxing myself out of, what about you? You need to understand where I live, right? And the where I am in equatally to the equator, right? I live in a cold climate. So until I opened my mind through some of my healers and through some of the ancient native people of this land who told me how they survived when there was no such thing as veganism and how they ate, it wasn't until then that I reopened my mind, because my mind was absolutely closed for about 1.5 to 2 years, man. I was, and I would spit my venom, to whoever would listen about it, because I learned all this new information. But until I reopened my mind back up and was like, yeah, man, I've witnessed a lot of people in this cold climate who are super unhealthy and gaunt. Now, again, that's not everybody. Some people can do it, some people can't. Because there's, 7-8 billion people of us on this planet.
Too many.
There isn't one way for everybody. And that's just not with health. That's just not with finances. That's with everything. Again, open up your mind and understand you are you, I am me, and what we do together might not click, but you may learn something from me, and I'm definitely going to learn something from you. Yeah. And that's the beauty of interaction.
Yeah, you'll see Max is young and good looking, and I'm old and not quite so good looking.
Oh, no, you didn't know. That's Botox. I'm 103 years old, people. I get Botox.
I'm going to make 120, but we are very different. How we look physically, how we work internally. And here's the rub. Every single one of those 7-8 billion people are different. And no one thing will work exactly the same for any one of us. I personally, I now live a vegan lifestyle, but I didn't choose it. I haven't boxed it off. It's been through 3 years of experimentation.
Totally.
And it just works. And that is with the best knowledge that I have today. And I read stuff every day. I will read a new article or a paper or a research project or a professional or scientist every day. And when somebody says, actually, John, you need X, Y, and Z, I won't just take that as rote. I'll do a little experiment. I'll try it. I'll make notes. I'll get some conclusions, and I'll make a decision from there. And that is what you and Max and I have to do every day, is do our own research, do an experiment, but physically take a step and do something, not sit on your ass, wait for some preacher on the internet with a book who says, this is what it is. Paleo is the best thing in the world. Just do it. And then you pay up, you take the book, and then you show up 6 weeks and nothing happens because it might not have resonated with you personally. But do research. Anyway, we've got about 45 seconds left. My energy levels are dropping.
You know what? We might actually go over on this one. Who gives a flying? This is what I'll say again. As always, it is the self-awareness. It is the longevity game. All the people who mentor me, look at this guy going crazy over there, who I have been looking for, or
I haven't got a halo,
are in their later stages in life. And here's what I've learned recently. When I was talking about that experiment with John, I was 100%, all the way up to 250% sold that vegan and vegetarian was the way of life for me. Whereas a year later, I am proud to say I am about 90, like my man John Romero said, or Paul Romero, well, not John, that's you, says about 98% plant-based. that is a massive change for me because I am always in my own tribe and 100% sold on what it is, right? So open your minds and understand there is not one fix, man. Like I really did think that being a vegan would take me to 150 years old. That's
save the planet, but
yeah. And I agree with all that, but I am proud to now say I'm probably 98% because of where I live. If I lived on the island of Hawaii, like where I just was for a month, dude, I would be a fruitarian. I would be a kaleitarian, whatever, because I could get by doing that, man. When I'm down there eating just fruit, I lift more. I need less sleep. I'm in the sun. Up here, it's a different story. The sun goes down and comes up at different times. You have to understand your environment plays a part. So much plays a part, not just one thing.
And it's what works for you today. So I think we're done.
I think
we're done.
I got no more air in the gut.
Hopefully I didn't steal too much of your thunder at the beginning, although I did screw up and forget the intro, bro.
That's why we're a team, brah. That's why we a team, brah.
Yeah. So that's it. That's another one in the bag. Subscribe.
Ask us a question. Love you all. Thank you as always for spending your time with us. We know your time is important and valuable. Let's get these people on to bigger and better.
Does anybody want to come on the show with us? We're open to it. You can ask us live questions.
Let's do it.
Or talk about yourself. Or
your experience.
Juggle. You can juggle if you like. If you're good at juggling.
We definitely have a lot of people lined up, so get at it, people.
Yeah. In the queue.
Peace, and I'm out.